Hello Internet and welcome back to our Sky Island playthrough. On the last episode we returned to base after a long expedition and sort of brief, not so brief hiatus from the game. We gathered our stuff off camera, we brought everything back to the Sky Island, and we started skill training. Actually, I suppose we picked up the extra expansion options for the base so we can start expanding our east, west, and northern rooms, and then we turned our attention to skill training specifically for tailoring. We were hoping to raise tailoring a bit so that we could craft a spear strap. And we really want a spear strap because I'm tired of holding the dory and not being able to bring any good stuff back to base that we have to carry in our hands. With that, I think we're back. Hello Internet. Welcome back to the series. How are you doing? Oh, I probably shouldn't touch my mic like this while I'm trying to record. So hello Internet, everyone. Welcome back. We're going to be probably more skill training in this episode. I would love to get to that spear strap. Remember, we also want to raise our mechanics. We also want to raise really just all of our skills. Survival we need for one of the constructions we wanted to do, mechanics for vehicle parts, all that kind of stuff. So if I recall, we got to tailoring 3, is that right? Where do we go? Tailoring 2, and technically tailoring 1. It's just that we have the learning bonus to level 2. Okay, so that's not as good as I thought it would be. I'm curious, if we read the book to level 3, do we get an even higher learning bonus percentage? Currently it's 200% to reflect that, our theoretical skill is high enough, but our practical skill isn't quite there yet. So I'm curious, can you even read a book to theoretical? I guess you can, of course you can. So we could read a book to theoretical 3. Would that give an even higher learning bonus, do you think? Or would it just be, oh, my mouse is offset? That's weird. Or would it just be the 200% buff? Either way, we're probably going to tackle it one level at a time. So let's have a look what we can craft with tailoring 2. P tail. Okay. Why are these not collapsed? I thought I collapsed. Do they uncollapse when I click them and they stay uncollapsed? Okay, well that's good to know, I suppose. Tailoring 1 of 1. So we literally have no, oh no, that's just what we can craft at this exact moment. Let's scroll down here. So these are way beyond anything we're going to be making. Let's look for something that's tailoring 2 just so that it's at least, plausible that we would be able to craft it. All of these are extra small. All these are fur and leather, which we can't really do, and the homemade gear. So in your game, I don't think these would be listed as homemade. This is part of a PR I was working on. I don't know if it was merged yet. I haven't been paying attention to GitHub. But basically, I changed the briefs these are not on GitHub yet. So these are the custom-made boxers and briefs so that you can make them yourself and have your own version so that it's not outputting like, oh, you made heart underwear. Well, no, you wouldn't. You would have just stitched 2 cotton pieces together. There's not going to be like cartoon characters or heart patterns or whatever on those. So that's why they're listed as homemade. And again, our main difficulty with this is that we just don't have much tailoring fabric to work with. So I don't know how much of this we can actually do. Which is pretty unfortunate. We would need to go on more expeditions to gather more clothing. Do we even have a clothing pile? Let's have a look here. We do. So let's have a look at the clothing pile, which is just directly to our south. We're going to need a dirty clothing pile as well. So let's set that up really quickly. So we're looking for filthy clothing. We're going to put that here as well. And then might as well set up an armor one while we're here. I don't think we did that. An armor zone, we can put this over here. We're never going to really be crafting with armor, so it doesn't have to be too close. Filthy armor, we'll put that over there, and we will save and we will sort, which I don't think we did in the last episode, so there might be a lot. Nope, we immediately did it. That's fine. So let's have a look at what clothing we have to offer. We might have to wash some of it to get some of the higher tier like clothing items that will give a lot of cloth in return. You hear my family clattering silverware downstairs. I think she said she was going to make grilled cheese for her and my other family member. I probably will go get boneless wings again because I've been so depressed, and for some reason boneless wings really make me feel better. So we do have some clothing. Taking this apart will yield patchwork cotton sheets, but the problem with a lot of clothing is that it doesn't necessarily have a disassembly recipe. So if we look at long underwear bottom, they don't have a disassembly recipe, so we can only butcher them, which gives the smallest scraps of cloth possible, which we don't want because they're not really suitable for crafting. So it looks like we can take apart those cargo pants. Are we doing pickup? We are. What about the knit scarf? This would be wool, correct? The mouth, cotton. It is just cotton. Taking it apart will yield 90 yarn. Yeah, we don't want yarn. Long underwear bottom can't be taken apart. I did just see someone on Discord was like, hey, does anyone know like clothing that doesn't have a disassembly recipe that should? And I told them about the long underwear gear not giving a disassembly recipe. So hopefully that will change in the future. But looks like the long sleeve shirt can be taken apart. What else do we have here? Really not much. I did bring the sundress because it's such a large garment and I was hoping it would give a lot. 6 cotton sheets, so that's good. All of this needs washed though, and we're on pretty limited water rations at the moment. Thermal electric suit is also a large garment. Doesn't look like it has a disassembly recipe though, so that's not an option. And t-shirts, work t-shirts we saw previously give canvas instead of cotton. It also doesn't appear to have a disassembly recipe. Okay, so unfortunately not a lot. And the t-shirt, of course, should have one. Last I checked, cutting 2 or more yield 3 patchwork cotton sheets. So we can get some tailoring materials, and realistically the amount of time it takes to craft even one garment should be long enough to raise our skill level to 2, even if we don't finish the craft. It's not a lot though. It's really not a lot because clothing is not a priority to us. When we were down on the expeditions, we were looking for much more valuable, because our inventory is so limited. We spend most of our time assessing like what's the most valuable thing we could bring back. And in the majority of cases, clothing is a very low priority. So we will grab these things. Hopefully we have enough inventory space to pick them all up. And then we're going to need water, which we should have a big jug of water. Only 15 water. Okay, well that should be enough. I mean, we don't have a washboard. I guess that would be step 1. You can wash clothing with a sponge, is that right? No, that's just hard items. I don't remember. I think you need a wash kit. Let's just make a washboard, because if I recall correctly, it's just 1 plank, which should be very easy to make. Looks like it's not going to raise our fabrication at all, so that's unfortunate, but let's grab a... Sorry about that, I had to go quiet. My family was making an awful lot of noise. So now we have a washboard, which means we can wash things. We probably do have soap somewhere around the base, so I don't think that should be too much of an issue. So if we activate the washboard, we can take a look at how much water will be required. So it looks like we have 0 cleanser. I'm not sure why. That might be upstairs. It might be treated as a chemical or something. But let's say we wanted to wash all the sheets and the... Okay, so this is unfortunately going to show everything from the clothing pile. But we just want the long sleeve shirt, sundress, t-shirt. And wasn't there another one? I guess not. So this would require 19 water, which we don't have. 3 cleanser, which shouldn't be, an issue. But not having water is kind of a big deal. The sundress probably takes the most. It takes 8. How many pieces? I don't want to min-max like, oh, this will give this many sheets and this will give this many sheets. I really don't want to sit here and do that. So if we could just get this to under 15 basically and leave it at that. The t-shirt's probably the lowest value. So with this, it would require 15 exactly water, which we have. And then let's go find our cleanser. Do you enjoy this, internet? Do you enjoy watching a virtual person do their laundry? Does that make you happy? I hope it makes you happy. So what am I even looking for? Let's step in the middle, use the all feature of the advanced inventory, and we'll just search for soap. We do have soap bars. I thought we picked up, do we have detergent? We don't. And I thought we picked up some liquid soap, but it doesn't look like that's the case here. So we'll move those here. We will grab that cleanser, so to speak. It's called cleanser. And then we will move down here and we will wash our garments. So this is something, working towards something. So let's grab what we had selected here, long sleeve and sundress, 15 to 15 water. We'll use 2 of our soap bars and that will be that. So there goes all our water. At this point, we have enough like drinks and stuff. We brought back a bunch of juice, herbal tea, things like that. So we don't actually need the water for the purposes of being like, cleaned into clean water. We don't have to worry about that. So it's okay for us to use all this water. Let's do that. We washed our items and then did that put them on the tile, pick them up in our inventory maybe? We had set them down separate, didn't we? We did not. So let's grab our, actually it's a very short cable on our lantern. So we're not going to be dragging the lantern around. Let's just drop these over here in the somewhat, you know what, turn on your flashlight. Who cares? Turn on the flashlight. I like having a well-lit area. You listen to some contextual garage soul. Okay, so we still have the MP3 player in. All right, so... What? Clothing? No. We said we had a lot more to take apart than this. I assume the clean garments are still on that pile. Let's just do these for now. And let's start taking things apart. So what's going on with you, internet? How are you doing? Take apart the cargo pants, 4 patchwork cotton sheets. Yeah, we're going to need closures as well. So these buttons and zippers and things are you know, somewhat valuable. So we'll do that. Take those apart. Fail to recover 2 patchwork cotton sheets. Yeah, even slight damage like completely ruins your ability to take things apart. So this sundress might not even provide. I didn't even think about that. It's going to severely cut down on the harvest, which in, you know, a lot of ways makes sense, but it also doesn't make sense. Like if your dress is damaged, obviously it would be harder to get, you know, large unblemished sections from that garment, but to go from, you know, 3 patchwork sheets down to 1 is a bit frustrating, I think. So see what we can get out of the sundress. I'm guessing again we'll get like 1, which is pretty unfortunate. 2 cotton sheets, 30 thread. Yeah, that's pretty disappointing, honestly. That's okay, I guess. I mean, I guess it's okay. And then we will grab, what else did we say we would take apart? I thought we had a bunch of clean stuff we said we would take apart. Doesn't really look like it. I'm not sure. I thought we had more than this. So almost nothing harvested there. That is disappointing. We could take apart the balaclava, probably not made of sheets though. Oh, 2 cotton sheets. It is damaged, so we probably only get 1 back. We could always make a balaclava later if we really wanted, you know, if we wanted one. So we'll take that apart as well, which takes apparently much longer than all of the other garments. So that's fun that these have such disparate deconstruction times. That's fun as well. Okay, so out of all of that, we got 4 cotton sheets, 5 patchwork cotton sheets, plastic buttons, zippers, and threads. Okay, let's have a look at this tailoring list again. And we just want to make underwear, I think, would be the easiest ones. 2 hours, 10 minutes. You know, 59% chance of failure is such a big deal. That's going to be constantly delayed. We only have a handful of sheets here. That's okay. I think these will carry us to level 2. So we'll just do this. We'll use the patchwork sheets because I'm assuming they can be used in less recipes because they're patchwork instead of the real sheets, basically. So we'll craft those. We'll use thread. Who cares? And we'll stop if we get to, oh, we literally got to level 2 immediately. Okay, so we'll pause that because we want to keep this. Actually, hold on. What skill level? Did it only take us to level 2? Yeah, it only takes us to level 2. So there's no reason to even resume this later because it will be just level 2 and it won't take us to level 3. Okay, so we'll pitch that in the fire. All that work for 5 seconds of crafting. So we'll just toss this in the brazier here. We'll burn that later. Why didn't it transfer into the brazier? I guess it did. Whatever. Well, that took forever, I guess, just to do that. So let's go back to reading. I suppose we can turn off the flashlight again, just use our lantern. It is getting later. I don't know that we necessarily, like, I don't think it matters at this time that we're actually, like, passing so much time. Again, we're just skill training. Okay. How's everyone doing? I'm okay. I actually just scheduled my colonoscopy, which is in about a month. So that was like literally right before I started recording. I had made that phone call. Never had one before, but have a lot of chronic, you know, health issues. Anyone who's watched the channel for years knows that I've been very sick for a long time. And I don't, I try not to talk about it in specifics or anything because a lot of people, number one, people get very uncomfortable when it's like, health issues related to your digestive tract. Some people get weird. It's like if I had a chronic illness, people would be like, oh my God, that's so terrible. But if you have like a chronic illness related to bowel movements, people are like, okay, well, I don't want to hear about that. So you're just going to have to suffer quietly if that's okay. So it's a lot of that. You know, is there anything we can craft for food? I was going to eat because it's been several hours. Can we actually I never raise food handling in this game. It's just not something I care about, but maybe we could make some food. We have all this meat product, so we could probably make peanut butter and ham, or not ham, honey, peanut butter and honey sandwich. But no, we were looking for a meat sandwich ideally, but I guess we just can't. What is required for a meat sandwich? Oh, we can make a meat sandwich. And it will raise our skill level, so that's cool. We have bread, we have meat product. Is there anything else? How do we scroll this particular one? I wish every scroll in this game was the same button instead of being a different button depending on the menu. So that is literally all we need. It's just some meat and bread together. And since we're looking for a lot of calories, why don't we make this out of probably crackers have the highest calorie count here, 560 versus wheat snack bread. Don't know what wheat snack bread is, but sure, we could do that. Sure. And then we will, you know, the meat product doesn't matter as much. I guess the cracklins, since they spoil the quickest, and we want to just do that. And assuming it makes 2 sandwiches, this should be like 600 calories a sandwich. That's pretty good. Did we get anything in food handling? We did. Level 1 food handling skill. Fantastic. So let's eat our meat sandwiches. Yeah, it's going to come out to be about 1100 calories plus 2 joy as well. Really, you know, we don't care too much about the joy. But that's quite a calorie intake. And then you know what? Let's treat ourselves. Let's have something sweet as a reward for our hard work. Well, I'm not going to have you eat just a spoonful of jam. That seems just truly cruel. What is Zapple sauce? Oh, this is going to be dumb, isn't it? Golden jelly-like food with the flavor of apples. Okay, so just like jam, but apples. Like apple jam, I guess. Jelly-like food. So is it jelly though or not? I don't. Okay. But anyway, it's in an MRE bag, so we don't really want to eat that. But we have some chocolate candy. There you go. Have a little chocolate as a reward for your hard work in the zombie apocalypse. And then let's have a drink, which I believe is this pile here. We will just chug a little bit more. How's our vitamins? So because we switched overnight, it's after midnight now, our vitamins have reset. So let's prioritize getting, we did get some iron from the meat sandwiches, of course. But let's try, how much V8 do we have? Just the one. So we'll eat that for a lot of vitamins. And then we'll have like a shot of cranberry juice, I guess. You can't finish it all. No, that's okay. Don't, oh, phone ring. We don't want to gorge ourselves on beverage. You feel quite full and a bit sluggish. Man, you only ate like 2 portions of meat sandwich. Come on, sack up here. You can eat more than that. All right, so let's have another look at our tailoring skill, P tailoring. And we're looking for anything that will take us to level 3. Looks like the boonie hat would do it, and we have all the materials required. Also called a bucket hat, often used in the military. It's wide brim, helps keep the sun out of your eyes. Okay, boonie hat, sure. Boonie cap. I thought they were caps, but you know, whatever. Level 2 of 3, so it would take us to level 3. Takes an hour and a half to complete, so we probably will level up in that time. It requires, unfortunately, quite a lot of sheets. I would say maybe we should look for something that's a little less heavy on the requirements and try to conserve our sheets since they're such a precious resource at the moment. But also the reality is we're not going to do a lot of tailoring crafts, so maybe it does not matter. And just having a look, again, all of these things at the top here are leather and materials we don't have. Obviously, we don't have neoprene, we don't have Nomex, we don't have leather, we don't have hide to make like the raw leather stuff. So yeah, we're not going to do that. If we could make like an ammo pouch, I think would be pretty cool. Patchwork synthetic fabric sheet or 2 synthetic fabric sheet. So I don't understand things like this. Obviously, you know, if you were making an ammo pouch in like the pre-manufactured, pre-apocalypse type of world, you would be making it out of synthetic material, but we're in the zombie apocalypse. Can someone explain to me why I have to make a tiny bag out of synthetic fabric instead of cotton? Like, why is there not just a cotton version of this recipe to show that, like, hey, yeah, it's not as durable, but you would, of course, be able to make a small pouch out of cotton. So that's a bit annoying because we do have all these handgun magazines now, and we're not going to be able to store those. We would be storing those just in our backpack. It'd be nice to have like a little ammo pouch of some kind, but... And here, the ammo satchel, again, made of canvas, not allowed to make it out of cotton for some reason, so that's unfortunate. You know what, I don't really want to look through these, so let's just, is there like a cotton recipe for ammo pouch? Maybe there is, and I just don't know it. These are all the patchwork canvas. Leather, there's a leather version. Leg ammo pouch, also synthetic. A hammock. No, I don't really need a hammock though. And the ammo pouch itself is made of leather patches. Yeah. I don't think we have any leather garments. I said I would bring back some of the bigger leather jacket stuff we had found, but I don't think we actually did because they were so voluminous. And of course, we could take something like the tactical backpack apart to get those synthetic materials. I don't know that we're going to do that. It gives, actually this is leather, so it gives leather patches. But we don't want leather patches. We want larger pieces of leather, I think. I mean, I guess leather patches are what we need. We could take that apart. Oh, they'd be filthy. We don't have the water to clean them. Never mind. Okay, well, don't worry about it. The webbing belt, same thing. We're not going to be able to get what we want out of this. 8 fabric sheets for a webbing belt. Isn't it just a web? Why would there be huge sheets of material? I mean, I'm never going to use the webbing belt. We could take that apart and get an ammo pouch. Why don't we do that? See what we can do with that. Yeah, scheduled the colonoscopy. I'm nervous. I'm worried about what they'll find out, but you know, you got to do medical stuff. Failed to recover 2 synthetic sheets. So we have synthetic materials. We're going to need a scrap metal, or I'm sorry, a scrap material pile at some point here, because we have all this stuff. Looks like it came with a steel buckle, and despite being a webbing belt, it gives scrap metal for some reason, so that's pretty weird. And we'll wield the dory here as well. Okay, so that should enable us to make some kind of ammo pouch. I'm just not sure which. Oh no, because I didn't think about synthetic thread and all of that. So what are we missing here? Ankle ammo pouch. I would prefer the leg ammo pouch instead of the ankle one, because I think foot encumbrance is a little worse than leg encumbrance. I don't really remember. And then the regular ammo pouch is leather. Okay, so looking at the ankle ammo pouch, what do we need here? We have synthetic sheets, we have the thread component, we have closure. We're missing cotton patches. Well, those should be the easiest thing in the world to get. So let's grab some cotton patches. Let's grab a clean, low value item that we don't really care about that we can butcher. God, do we really not have anything? No, the long underwear should work for butchery. So let's grab the long underwear, drag that over here. This is slower than I thought. I'm not used to doing tailoring, so I'm very hesitant in what I'm doing and not sure what the most optimal path is. So let's make our ammo pouch. That should take us to, how long does it take? 7 hours. Oh, God. So we probably won't finish this, but it will level us up, and we can keep the in-progress craft so that we can resume it later if we're so inclined. So what does this change? Plastic into plastic buttons and steel. So do we use, I'm confused. So 3 buttons and 1 steel buckle, or 1 zipper and a steel buckle or buttons? Okay. Closures are one of those things. I don't know. Should you min-max them? Does it matter? So we'll use the buckle, I guess. Sure. And we'll use plant fiber because we have so much of it and it's not really something we want. So we did raise our tailoring to 3. I am going to let this craft a little bit. It did say 7 hours, so that's quite a long time. But let's get to 25% and stop crafting. And we will leave that in progress craft here so that we can resume that later and eventually get an ammo pouch, I think. So we are level 3. We're now tired. And if we sleep, we'll probably sleep for like 10 hours because our character sucks. Oversleeping nerd. So let's see what it takes to make that spear strap. Spear shaft. No, it wasn't called spear strap, right? Because we had trouble finding it in this menu before. Oh, there it is. Spear strap. Requires an awl. Of course it does. Because again, this is something that can only be made out of leather for no obvious reason. There's really no reason this could not be an interchangeable thing that says, oh, you need leather or you need cotton. Because again, it's a strap. Do we need it to be leather? We don't. So that's very obnoxious. And it looks like we don't have a closure for it. Unfortunately, if we had not used the steel buckle for the ammo pouch, we could have used it for this. Why, with the closures, I don't understand. It's a spear strap. I should be able to put literally like any button on it and it should work, right? I mean, I guess we could make a wooden button. I assume we can. And again, the fasteners here are made of leather. We can't even use cotton string. Oh, we can. Short strings. Okay, thank God. I was like, why? I just don't understand why the leather requirements are a requirement instead of a possible component. I feel like all of this should be made with cotton or leather, and then the all requirement would not be required if we were able to make this out of cotton. So that's a little frustrating because I don't know where you even get the all quality. We have a sewing awl. Does this even give the quality? We do. It does. So all we would need is a screwdriver. So that's nice that someone was like recognizing that, you know, obviously an awl is a specific device, but also you could just use like, honestly, just let me sharpen a screwdriver, which is exactly what this is. We would file it down and make it sharp. Okay, well that's decent of you at least, but we're shy on leather components because again, it requires a leather here, which is frustrating in my opinion. So and not only that, by the way, it requires leather sheets, which are huge sheets of leather to make a strap. It's basically, well, like, why can't I just use a belt? Why can't I just use any number of things other than an enormous leather sheet that I'm cutting down into a very thin strip? It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, these requirements, so I'm a little unhappy about that. So even though we've obtained the skills required to do this, which took a lot of time and honestly was very annoying, we don't have the ability to make it right now, and probably won't for the duration of, basically until we go on another expedition. So that's unfortunate. Let's drop all the crap we picked up that we don't actually need to be carrying on our person, and then we will just like sort that stuff later to get it out of our inventory and make some space here, because like, why do we have all this stuff? So let's sort our loot. Should be nice and easy. We do need to make a gun and ammo pile at some point. I think we're getting ready for bed now. Why don't we make some of those extra piles before we go to bed? That way we just have them and they're out of the way. So let's look for, what is it, firearm? Nope, guns for some reason, even though the people in our community hate terms like that, and they're like, oh, it's not a gun, it's a pistol, it's a handgun, how dare you say gun when it's a blah 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 blah. And then mods are gun parts, right? So we'll add those over there. We'll save this. We will sort our loot, which should bring down all our M4s and all that stuff. Did it bring magazines? It did not. Sigh. So let's go down and we will add our magazines to the ammo pile, because why not keep them together? Makes perfect sense. So we'll make that there. Save that. Yes. And we will sort again. No, do not open. Oh, did I hit caps lock? I did. Okay, so sort out our loot. Sorted out every possible item. Thank you, thank you. Let's have a look at our pile. So we have our gun pile. Looks like we have AR pistols, pretty great. I didn't realize we had this. Really, we have this? It's a home defense pistol that uses AR ammunition, like not AR ammunition. I mean, it's a pistol that uses rifle ammunition, which makes it better than a lot of the other pistols that, you know, will deal less damage and have less armor pierce because they're, you know, a lower tier ammunition. Like our Beretta, right? 26 damage here with 0 armor pierce. But if we look at the AR pistol, 30 range damage with a 12 armor pierce. Obviously, armor pierce is very valuable as we get later into the game. And that's just the standard M855. It's not really a super special ammo or anything. So that's cool. We only have one Stanag magazine. I know for a fact that's not correct, so that's weird that it didn't sort those. In fact, it only sorted one magazine. Oh, that's the magazine in the gun. That makes sense. Okay. So here's all of our ammunition and magazines. So we do have quite a lot of ammo, but it's not really stuff we're interested in. This is I believe from a gun safe that we tore open at a farmhouse or something like that. We do have marbles. Okay, classic ammunition that we highly value. So a lot of this is stuff we can't use, or it's stuff we're not really interested in. Like the 22, it's not like it's super terrible. I know in this game people give crap to 22 all the time, but it'll kill zombies just as good as anything else. You know, it bothers me. People will be like, man, 22 is worthless, but then they'll be like, yeah, I only use a staff, like sling, and I only use rocks to fight enemies. It's like, okay, dummy, you're saying that rocks are better than, you won't use 22 because it's so bad, but oh, you'll throw rocks at enemies all day long. It's like, just come on, man. So 9mm is our best bet again, and we have all those extra magazines hopefully still in our inventory. Let's just go to bed. Stop. Just you know, you're all over the place this episode. Let's go to bed. That would be the $sign. Do you want to sleep? Yes. We could set an alarm, but we slept through the alarm last time. We have like bad hearing and heavy sleeper or whatever, so pretty much we're gonna sleep through the alarm. So let's just go to bed here. Yeah, I don't know, man. Colonoscopy is scary. It's scary to have medical stuff going on, even if you kind of have an idea of what you think it is. You never really know. And you know what scared me? I have the sheet here somewhere. Well, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to read you my medical diagnosis stuff. But I have a sheet from the gastroenterologist that just lists all of my symptoms and why they think I need like a colonoscopy and what they think is going on with me. And reading that list, like I know what my symptoms are because I live them. But reading that list and seeing like 9 things listed out in medical language, that's like, well, again, people get weird if you talk about like bathroom stuff or whatever. But it's a list of like medical terms of like, hey, this is a severe issue he's having. Hey, he has this severe issue. Hey, this is actually quite alarming and we should get this checked out immediately. And just seeing that big list of like, here's what's wrong with you is weirdly terrifying, because like in your head, you're like, You get used to it. You live with these symptoms for years, and I have for like 10 years. And in your head, you're like, oh yeah, that's just normal. That's just normal what I'm going through. But really, it's not normal at all. It's actually terrifying that a person would be experiencing all of those symptoms. And then when you see them all laid out together in medical language, it's like, it's actually really scary to see everything that's wrong with you. So I'm a little nervous about all of that, and by a little nervous I mean I'm extremely nervous. Plus they like put you under with anesthesia. Like I think that's the one where you're not really unconscious, you're just sort of in a like a dream-like state. But even that is scary. Like what if I say something weird, or what if you have a bad reaction and you stop breathing, and like all that kind of stuff is like weirdly scary. You feel quite full and a bit sluggish. Actually, I have not been taking our multivitamins. We should absolutely do that right now. 2 gummy multivitamins should take care of us for the next like 12 hours or whatever. Because remember, we were getting a lot of health messages previously. It doesn't look like we got any when we woke up this time. You fall asleep, you wake up, you feel well rested, you start walking, you wake up. It's weird that I started walking before I woke up, but I guess that happens. Okay, so we know now that we can't do the spear strap because it requires leather sheets for some, but just completely beyond me reason. So we're not going to be able to make the spear strap until we go on more expeditions and bring back more leather garments, because we just don't have a large leather sheet garment. Remember, that backpack only would give leather patches, if I recall correctly. This is not even the right backpack. It would be the tactical backpack was the leather one. 28 leather patches, 84 thread, 3 long plastic zipper. So yeah, just to give an example here, we have 28 leather patches is what we would get by disassembling this backpack, but a spear strap requires 2 like big sheets of leather to make it, which, think about that. It's making, instead of leather patches, this backpack being comprised of smaller leather pieces, which makes perfect sense for its size and shape. The simple belt that you would wear around your torso apparently requires 2 giant sheets of leather, and that stuff just annoys the bejesus out of me. Okay, but anyway, the point is we don't have leather sheets, and we probably won't unless we find even a leather backpack or something is not going to be good enough. We're going to have to find one of the large leather jackets. We're going to have to find, I don't even know where you get leather sheets in this game. So that's a problem and very obnoxious in my opinion. So what do we work on next? What do we need for a well? Because we just ran into this with clothing, right? We want to be able to clean clothing. We don't want to have to go down and fetch water constantly. So we need Fab 4, we currently have Fab 3, and then we need Survival 4, which I would guess we also probably have Survival 3, would be my estimate there, although I have not looked at this in a while. Yeah, so Survival 3, Fab 3. Fab 3 is at 90%, so that'll take literally 5 seconds to do that. Survival is going to be a little bit harder. Survival stuff tends to require more survival type equipment in order to make things, or not equipment, like materials like sticks and random scrap things that you don't normally pick up. So if we look at survival 3 of 3, so we're looking at something, wait, no, 3 of 3 would give us skill, right? I forget how this works. Do you have to craft something that's a higher level, or does your same level count for that? I don't remember. This requires medium tin cans. It says I have one, but I can't use it for some reason. Scrap metal, 27 minutes. I mean, we could just craft it. It's a hobo stove. I'm never going to use the thing, but we can craft it. Oh, it's sealed with pork and beans. No, don't open my pork and beans. So we're not going to be doing that. Metal axe head looks like it's just made a chunk of steel, and we're hammering it. How do you hammer a random chunk of steel into a sharp axe head? One edge hammered down to be something resembling a cutting edge. Oh, so literally it's just a chunk that we're hammering to be like the worst makeshift axe head in the world. All right, well, we can make that. Sure. I mean, we have lots of steel and we have a hammer. You craft from memory. So did that raise our survival skill? It did 20%. It's not great. We might have a book that raises survival. If we have a quick glance here, so hard to read these sometimes. Nope, no survival book. That's fine. I mean, we could just make like 4 more axe heads, I guess. There might be something a little bit better material-wise, because chunks of steel are the larger pieces of metal we might want to hang on to. And we're kind of looking for something that either has like no proficiency requirement or a proficiency that we actually care about. This one has no requirement, but it takes 21 minutes, so it would take us about an hour and a half to finish off our survival skill here. This one takes 5 minutes, but requires sticks and splintered wood. I mean, I guess that's fine as well. Nope, no proficiencies. Just requires an aluminum can. I mean, I would like to learn some proficiencies. I just would prefer them be like those that are actually valuable to us in the future. It looks like we have a lot of carving ones, but we, obviously we already have carving proficiency, it looks like. So basic napping and speed napping for stone chisel. No, I'm probably not going to need to nap a lot of rock. Sure, let's try making, I don't know, something else just for the sake of doing something else. An ember carrier requires an aluminum can that we have 1,000,000 of. That's fine. We'll make one of those. That did not increase our skill at all. I must have misread what we were crafting. Just go back to the axe head. Metal axe head, sure. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure a lot of you have medical issues. Only 11% that time, but why? It was 20% the first time. So that means we're not going to have enough materials to actually raise our survival skill based on that. I don't know, I'm sure a lot of you have health issues. You know what it's like to go through some of those things. I've been getting a lot of like Iron Mouse clips on YouTube. They're a very popular VTuber. I think they just had like a record-breaking subathon that was like beyond any other subathon that Twitch has ever seen. So like she made way more money, way more subscribers, whatever, beat Ludwig, all that stuff. And I think she won like VTuber of the year or something like that. Anyway, I don't know. I don't really watch VTubers. It's just not my cup of tea. Although I've considered making one myself. I just it's not really my vibe. A lot of them act very childish, including Iron Mouse has like the baby voice and stuff like that I just don't just not for me. I find that very off-putting sometimes. See, I don't know what I should be looking for here. Carving and fiber twisting, we already have those proficiencies apparently. It requires pointy sticks, but I assume we can craft those pointy sticks. When we make 2 pointy sticks, we'll make them out of sticks, I guess. Sorry, I meant to batch craft that, so we'll make those again. And so now we can make the light snare kit, which I don't think we'll ever use, but it's, something different to do. And because these take 2 hours and 43 minutes, since it takes longer, I think that is good for our skill level, right? It means our skills go up longer, basically, like for one craft instead of doing like 1,000,000, instant crafts. So we did not level up. We're only at 67%. This is way slow going. We've already lost the entire afternoon, and that's like the real... Oh, and our focus is terrible. I forgot our MP3 player. That's definitely part of it. So we'll put on our MP3 player. That's definitely part of our issue here. I really just want to get a skill level up in fabrication so I can feel good about myself. Let's make more meat sandwiches. Keep using up that bread and those cracklings before everything starts to go bad. We'll use, sure, a flour tortilla, not what I would call a sandwich. If you just wrap something in a tortilla, that's more of a wrap, but we can do that. Hope you're enjoying this long episode, even though it's mostly me fumbling around like a moron. Let's have some drinks here. We'll just keep working at cranberry juice, because why not? I like cranberry juice. Actually, that lowers your joy. We wanted something that would make us happy so that we keep our focus up. Let's have a beer. We'll have a little pale ale. Not really my thing, but we need to raise our mood here. And then I guess we just make another snare kit, I suppose. Oh, we don't have enough materials anymore. Let's make more pointy sticks. We'll batch craft 2 pointy sticks. Yeah, this is probably not optimal as well, so people watching this might be a little frustrated, but doing my best. Hopefully you're enjoying the process. We're looking for a snare, light snare kit, and this should take us up to level 4 survival. Anyway, yeah, getting a lot of videos from Iron Mouse, the VTuber, and they have a chronic immune disease that makes them like bedridden. They're on oxygen at all times, things like that. And I saw a video where she talked about before becoming a VTuber, how she would just be in her room all day, and she was so worried, like, I'm gonna die alone. I have no friends, I have no partner. My life is so, like, obviously she's going through a very difficult time with an immune disease and things like that. And I don't know, that just like spoke to me so much. Like, I'd never seen a lot of her content, didn't really know who she was at all. Cause again, I don't really watch VTubers and stuff, but I randomly saw that clip of her being like, yeah, I was so scared to die alone when I was bedridden, and before I was a VTuber, I didn't know what to do with myself. And I just felt such a weird like kinship with that. It made me feel so like seen, because I'm like alone in my room all the time. I'm a shut-in. I have chronic health issues, obviously not on the same difficulties that she does, but I have health issues, mental health issues, physical issues, emotional issues, and then you're just in your room all the time and you think like, man, it's weird being alone at all times. It's weird being going days without speaking sometimes. You know, if I don't record and my family doesn't like ask me a question that day, I don't talk that day. I just don't. Or I guess I talk in therapy, so therapy days I talk. But yeah, I spend a lot of days in complete silence. That's why my voice is hoarse all the time, I think, is because I never speak like at all. I think just making something simple like a arrow here should bump us up to level 4 fabrication, which will let us make the well. So let's have a look at what we're missing. We're not missing anything. We have everything we need. We just, if we wanted to use a plastic bottle, it would have to open something, but that's not an issue. Yeah, I'm okay getting rid of all of these materials. None of them are high value, so we'll make a quick arrow here. Yeah, these combinations are going to be a little frustrating. We definitely do not want to use our duct tape. This one is just planks or sticks and a rock, which we have a lot of, but we kind of want to, we can use a nail. I was going to say we want to save our rocks for that construction. No, that requires duct tape as well. This is the only one that doesn't require duct. No, it's not a requirement. It's a possible component. Okay, so we want to do this one. No, definitely conserve the super glue. Probably conserve the thread. We'll use plant fiber. Stick or plank doesn't matter. Really, you make one arrow. It's got to be more than one. You must craft more than one at a time because you're not making one arrow from a plank. Let's just do a stick. And then here we'll use a nail, I guess. And then honestly, we don't need cardboard at this point. We took that apart, remember, to make boxes for a craft. Actually, now that we have the room expansions that follow the old room expansions, we are going to need those big boxes for crafting those room expansions. So we'll just use a plastic chunk, I guess, for fletching here. And this hopefully should, yes, level 4. We might as well finish the craft. Why not? We're already started. We got the achievement Household Handyman. If I have the instructions, I can make it work. Completed year 1, gate fabrication level 4. Yes. We did. It's weird that that popped up after I had already gotten it, like, 15 seconds previously, but that's fine. So we have Fab 4, we have Survival 4, so now all we need to make that well is, oh, we already searched well. All we need now is a bunch of rocks, and then we of course need a way to bring that up, which we looked at previously. If we scroll down here, would require then some cordage and a bucket, which should be very easy to make as well. So we now have all the skill requirements necessary for making a well. We have the tailoring requirements we need to make the spear strap. We're just missing some materials that are preventing us from doing those things. So I think, another expedition is in order. But we have spent most of the day just skill grinding. There are other skills that we need to raise. Obviously, our melee skills are something we improve back on, like expeditions as we fight and things like that. But our crafting skills also still need some work. So like our food handling's 1, that is adequate. I'm not really concerned about that. But electronics and mechanics are the 2 that I really want to get raising here. Mechanics 1 is not good enough to take a lot of stuff off of vehicles. And again, we want fridges, we want freezers, we want, like kitchen units. We want anything we can bring back that's like a major vehicle appliance type part. And then electronics is just going to help us in the future in general. Applied science doesn't really super matter at this time, maybe even ever. We might never use that. But mechanics and electronics are 2 that we definitely want to raise. But I feel good. We raised our tailoring skill by 2 skill levels. We raised survival. We raised fabrication. And yeah, I feel pretty okay with that. Why was I talking about Iron Mouse? We should probably just wrap up. I don't know, felt a weird kinship, I guess, to that young lady, because it felt like, I think those things where you're alone in your room and you're like, it's been days since I talked to someone. The last time I had a hug, internet, like honestly, I think the last time I had a hug was like 8 months ago. And other than family members, it was probably like 10 years ago, honestly. Which is such a weird thing to say out loud. But I don't know, I felt a weird kinship. Go watch Iron Mouse, I guess is my encouragement. No, that's not what I'm saying. Okay, doesn't matter. Anyway, everyone, thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. It looks like a longer one this time around, although it was a lot of skill grinding. In the next episode, we're not going to head out on an expedition at 6 p.m., so probably we're going to do more skill grinding, and then the following day, we'll head out on a new expedition, and it'll be our first expedition after kind of being back from hiatus. So that'll be nice to be able to make a plan and figure out where I'm going, all that stuff. So everyone, for now, thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. I, of course, will be back in the near future with more content, and I'll see you next time.